Okay,
Okay,
we're now recording, so
okay. Okay, it's going to be my Mac screen's way over there, so you're not going to see my face. But
yeah.
let me. Okay, okay. So let me switch over to the Mac version here. Okay, and I'm going to share my screen. Which is this screen here? Share. Okay, right. There's oh, for the Mac side.
No.
So, greetings, everybody. It's a real pleasure to be with you. And I'm very grateful to all of you users out there for supporting our software. And I'll try and do both an overview of the features of the program and then with a section on the DNA matrix, some interesting aspects of the DNA matrix. You can stop me anytime if you have questions. I apologize. My voice started deteriorating yesterday. I don't know what it is. Uh, here's Family Tree Maker for the Mac. And the way you launch, those of you who are not familiar, to launch the Charting Companion, it's a little bit different from the Windows side. It's simpler. You just click on Tools in the Family Tree Maker menu. You click on Tools, Charting Companion, and it launches Charting Companion. A lot of people are puzzled by that spinning wheel. They think they just sit there and wait, and they somehow don't get switched over automatically to this. So there's the Mac version of Charting Companion, and it's a genuine Mac native Mac application. Very pleased. We are Mac compliant with the menu at the top, detached from the application and everything. So I'm new to the Mac, so I'm a little bit unfamiliar with some of it. But it's been a year and a half. We've had a team of at times 4 people working on this with a lot of work. It's a complete rewrite of a lot of the programs. So you can do a lot of interesting stuff. Um, we do things like, for example, one interesting part is we do an ancestor chart and we include the siblings at every generation, not just the root generation. And that results in some very interesting insights into the family. There's my grandmother, Mary, who came over from Scotland in the early 20th century. She had a sister, Violet, Martha, and Agnes. Violet went to Australia, and the rest stayed in Scotland. Now you can see Violet, the ancestor with siblings, shows you naming patterns. So you can see that Violet here, you see there's an aunt, Violet Miller. You see that? Martha was named after, there's a Martha Cahoon on the father's side. Agnes, there's an Agnes Cahoon on the father's side. So you can see some really interesting naming patterns going down the family. There's another Martha, and so on. Alexander. So the names, as you know, in certain cultures are propagated from one generation to the next. So that's kind of neat. So another chart that you can do that's unique to Charting Companion is called the Descendant Fan Chart. And by the way, all these charts can be published as a PDF or a PNG or a JPEG, or in a lot of cases as a HTML, which is really cool. Gives you a lot of variety of different options. And if you have used the color coding system in Family Tree Maker, the Family Tree Maker colors are reproduced in Charting Companion. So here is a Descendant Fan Chart, very, very popular at family reunions. There's the grandparents in the center. Then in the next ring, you have the uncles and aunts, your uncles and aunts. Then in the next ring, you've got you and your cousins. Then there's the nieces and nephews, and so on. So you can do one of these on a big 3-foot by 3-foot plotter at Kinko's and bring it to the family reunion. It's very, very exciting. People like to trace, oh, there I am. There's so-and-so. So it's really cool. And of course, we're reading the data directly from Family Tree Maker at this point. Now, I see here we have colors. We did specify colors. Let's see. Let me go back to the ancestor chart here. You should be able to color FTM, color, use Family Tree Maker colors, preview. Yeah. Okay. You can see that orange bar there. You see that?
Yes.
That's coming directly from Family Tree Maker. These are the Family Tree Maker colors. Another chart that's really cool. People are always asking for the chart with everyone on it. Well, I'm gonna wait till last because it's a little bit slow doing that. Another chart that we do is the dandelion. The dandelion's kind of neat because it's a way of showing everybody in the family tree. Let's make it a little bit bigger here. Let's make it 12 by 8. The dandelion shows extended families, okay? Okay, the black dots are family. The red lines are parents, and the black lines are children. So this is me here. I am the son in this family. There's my mother and father. And I'm the father in this family here with my kids. So the advantage of this is you can show the children of the children. It's the spouses of the spouses. So if you have an extended family and you want to show your spouse's other children, this is one way of doing it. It's a way of showing a complete family unit. It's kind of unique like that. Call it the dandelion because it's like the dandelion flower with all the white, what do you call them? Things, they're seeds sticking off. Now, one of the many, so you can when you create a chart, you can save it as a PDF, or of course you could print directly to the printer, save as a PDF, and you can publish as an image, or you can publish as an HTML page, which is really neat. Let me do an ancestor chart here, and I'll show you the HTML version. Okay, so this is ancestor chart. I'm going to turn off the siblings just to make it a little bit less busy. So once I've got the chart, I can publish it. And under the publish, one of the options is HTML. So I'll just save it as this guy here. Save, replace, and there. Now this is pure HTML. So you're thinking, well, what's the big deal? Well, first of all, it's text, so I can search for things. I can do search for Pierre, and there's the first one, second one, and so on. So it's searchable. Also, what you can do with this is you can upload it to your website, and you can publish your research in the format of an HTML page, which is quite quite unique because there's no limit to the size. With a PDF, you're limited to 200 inches by 200 inches. With the HTML, there's no limit to the size. And now I've got...
So how would you get to the text behind this image?
The text?
Yeah, the HTML code.
Yes. Well, we generate that automatically. So in other words, when you call upon Charting Companion to do an HTML chart, it will generate all the HTML automatically. And this is not an image. This is not a JPEG. It's the actual raw HTML. If I can show...
if you go back to that file, that's the code.
Yeah, this is raw HTML.
Okay, but that's where it is. It's in that file you saved it to.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, developer view source. Okay, this is the code right there.
Yeah, so if you opened it in like a text editor, this is what you would see.
Yes, that's right. We actually use SVG, if you're familiar with scalable vector graphics. That's the raw underlying stuff. We could also do a fan chart in HTML. That's quite an accomplishment. Charts and reports, Ancestor Fan Chart. If you are familiar with HTML, this is quite the accomplishment here. There. So what I can do is, as I can say, click on the printer icon, publish.
As HTML.
As.
So you get down to the bottom and.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yes. Got to choose HTML.
Here's the HTML. That's kind of. So if you're
Yeah.
building your own website someplace,
Whoops, aha, something went wrong there. Okay, I'm gonna do
you
this
can
again here.
take all these images
Yeah,
and very easily embed them in your website.
yes, that's correct. And if you choose to add the pictures, we can also, we'll include the pictures in it.
Wow.
Just make a note here. Okay, so now I was going to do this on the Windows side. We have an interesting example here of the Kennedy. Let me just see if I can copy the URL. There's an additional benefit is that you can embed hot links in the. Okay, let me see if I can get the link to the Kennedy charts online. Here we go. Kennedy tree. Yes, here we go. So it's Portal's images. Oh God. Portal's 0 images charts. Let me just find it here. Just take me a second here. Progeny genealogy.com / Portal 0 images. Portals 0 images. Charts Kennedy.html. Okay, good. So this is what I prepared for the Kennedy family. Now, what I want to show you here, okay, so this is you could put pictures in it. Now, there's an interesting feature in Family Tree Maker called Weblinks, okay? Have any of you ever used Weblinks?
Yeah.
So what Weblinks are, it's a means of entering a URL in a person's fact. It's like a fact, but it's especially web oriented. And you can enter their URL of, for example, you can point to a website that describes the battle where your ancestor fought, the homestead where she lived, any information like that. And you can also put a person's Facebook page. So if you add in the web links of your ungrateful nieces and nephews who don't appreciate the work you've done, if you add the URL to their Facebook page, then when you publish the descendant tree, it includes, you see here, a link to the person's Facebook page. Okay, so that person, those are a little bit old. Okay, so what I've done here is link to that guy's web page. So you've got a complete descendant chart, including URLs to the person's Facebook page, which is really cool because that enables you to keep track of your family, figure out who's getting married, who's having children, and that's, you know, fodder for your genealogy tree. You know what I mean?
And that's the live Facebook page or
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
not a copy you saved?
No. This is live.
Okay,
This is
good.
current. Yeah. As a matter of fact, as you can see, some of them are this guy, this guy here, I'm not stalking them. I just, you know, everybody knows them. There's one guy here who had a particularly, I'm not going to find him here, a very humorous web page. And within a week of me putting this up, this guy here, he had closed down his web page. Yeah, or tamed it down considerably. He's in the movie business. So yeah, these are all live. And it's not just Facebook, was Google Plus, Twitter. We can get this guy's Twitter feed. So of course, yeah, there you go. Live. It's like as of, you know, November. Well, yeah, it's been very active. I guess his last tweet was, 2012. Good grief. I guess he just interesting. He just gave up on his Twitter page, I guess. Interesting. What about this guy here? This is a politician. He's got to keep it current. December 15th. Here we go. This is live. Okay, there you go. So, of course, you don't want to do strangers. You do your family. And I use it. I've got cousins in Scotland and Australia and Quebec. So I use that to keep in touch with my cousins and find out, you know, who's up to what. So it's a great feature. One of the many ways you can publish your family history. So that's the HTML for portion. We could talk about the DNA matrix now. So, what have we got here?
Yeah.
Yes.
So how do you add that web link? I
Ah.
understand you do the HTML, you set it up as an HTML, but then
Yeah.
where does the link come from?
Let me jump into now. Let me jump back into Family Tree Maker. There it is. It would be under person, right there. Web links. Now I don't have one
Okay.
for me. That's funny. I thought for sure I had some. Okay, I've got my cousins in there, but it would be right here under web links. You see web links?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, let me see now what happened. Go here. Go to Ethel.
Huh.
Ethel, I thought for sure. Yeah, Pierre, his son Charles, these guys got web links. What's going on here? No, okay, I guess I didn't port them into this
Oh.
version.
You got the Facebook. You create a Facebook fact, and then you put the URL there.
You have to
Because you
use
got
the
it there
web
as an individual
okay.
fact.
Where in here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Yes, that's how I did it. Right. So I created. Thank you very much, John. Very observant. I created a fact called Facebook. Yeah, that's how I did it in my family. I started off this way because I think I was doing it as a general solution to Roots Magic and other genealogy programs. So either way will work. The web link is the easiest way. So that's how you do it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a very cool feature. And you could put anything in there. Like I say, even your deceased ancestors can have links to web pages, battles they fought in, the ship they came over on.
I like that use.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But okay.
Lynn asked if it can link to Instagram, and really, as long as you've got a URL, it can link to anything.
Exactly. It'll
It
it'll
can
link to anything.
Yeah, it can link to Wikipedia. It could link to
Right.
another family's genealogy site. As long as it's a URL, you can link to it.
Exactly. Yeah. And so you can upload this HTML page to your website, or you can attach it to an email, and you can send the HTML file to a relative or a friend, and they could view it locally. It doesn't have to be hosted, and it'll still be hot. It'll still link to it'll still link to you can go from your local page to a real internet page. Okay. Interestingly, I don't know if you've been following the family there. This fella here, Joseph Patrick, he died in a plane crash. Kathleen died in a plane crash. And then, of course, 2 more sons died in tragic circumstances. So very, very tragic. So there you go. That's the HTML feature. Very exciting. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the DNA matrix. So I had my cousins tested, and I want to. Oh no, there's a whole preface to this, and I want to take you through step by step. This is very important, and it's on my PC side. I gotta find it on my. I gotta find out what the link is. You just bear with me. Or we could switch over for a minute. Let me see.
Why don't you just switch over for a sec?
Switch over. Okay, let's switch over. It'll be less. Okay, so I'm going to go on this side here. All right. Share this screen. Where am I here? Okay. Share screen. Here we go. That. Share. PDF. Yes. Okay. So those of you who have done DNA testing, you're familiar with the routine, right? You send a swab, a test. Everybody see this? Yes.
Yes.
I didn't get a lot of laughs.
It's cute.
Yeah. Usually if I'm doing to a crowd, and they're very taciturn and not loquacious. If I show this and I hear chuckles, I know I'm getting through.
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
some
so-
of us have seen it now.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So, as you know, with Ancestry, you have to click on each individual match to see how much DNA you share, which is kind of, tedious. This is typically what you see from Ancestry. You've got your first and second cousins, you probably know, and then you've got your third and fourth cousins, which many of them are strangers, are surprises to you. So, as you know, you can download your raw DNA file. I'd ask for a show of hands, but half of you are incognito, so I won't see anything.
Well,
So
I
what?
have downloaded that kind of a file.
Good. Okay. So for those of you who have not done it, you can download your raw DNA. It's kind of cryptic. It's a bunch of, ACTs and Gs. It doesn't have anything very interesting. Now, the next step is after you've downloaded the raw DNA, you can upload the raw DNA to a service like GEDmatch. And GEDmatch will take your raw DNA and 24 hours later will provide you with a list of all the people with whom your DNA matches. And that will include other close relatives who have uploaded their DNA to GEDmatch. And of course, also strangers, distant strangers who are distantly related to you. And this is the fun part of this. You discover new relatives that you've never heard of before. And it shows you, for every person, it shows you the identifier, the name of the person with whom you match, and the amount of DNA that you share. The amount of chromosomes is measured in something called Centimorgans, which is roughly 1 million base pair. So it shows you how much you share. This file is relatively difficult to use. There are some fanatics, some hardcore users who've imported that into a spreadsheet and started doing manipulations, and hats off to them, but you don't have to do that. Now, has anybody not seen this chart?
I've seen it.
Okay, anybody not seen it? Don't be shy. Jim, you've seen it?
I've seen it,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, anybody not seen it? Lynn, you've seen it?
No.
Oh, you've not? Okay, this is your lucky day. This alone is worth your entire investment in this presentation.
Worth the price of admission.
So this shows how much DNA relatives share. Okay, so if you and your siblings on average will share 2,600 centimorgans. Okay, you and your parents on average will share between 3,300 and 3,700 centimorgans. You know what I mean? You and your cousins on average 874 with a range of 553 to 225. So the point here is that if you tell me how much DNA two people share, as long as it's high enough, I can predict what their relationship will be. So if a complete stranger walks up to you and says, I've had our DNA analyzed, we share 2,600 centimorgans, you're likely brothers and sister and sister. So the point here is that given a relationship, you ought to share a certain amount of DNA. As we will see in the next few slides, this can cause a lot of surprises. So anyway, it's a correlation between relationship and DNA. Now, it kind of peters out the further away you get. The more distantly related you are, the greater the range of centimorgans. So it's not a black and white thing. It's not hard and fast. It's a guideline. Okay? All right. So what Charting Companion gives you, in addition to all these other great charts, by combining your genealogy and your genetics, we combine them into something called a DNA matrix. So the way it works is at the top here, in the top part, you've got your classic descendant chart, top-down descendant chart, right? This is my grandfather, Alfred, and 4 of his daughters, Ruby, Ethel, Bernice, and Dot. And then on the third level is their kids, me and my cousins. Now, the way the bottom part is the DNA matrix part. If you start with, for example, my cousin Jacques here, okay, follow the blue line here. It goes down vertically, and then when it turns horizontal, what it does is under each cousin or sibling, it shows you the amount of DNA that they share. So Jacques here is the brother of Anne, right, like this, and they share almost 3,000 centimorgans, 2986. Now, that is very typical of brothers and sisters or siblings. So the 100% here means that when two people share almost 3,000, they're siblings, okay? Now, as we follow the blue line here, as we follow Jacques' blue line, now we come under our cousin Jean-Guy. And you can see here that the amount of DNA that they share is down to 443. Can you see that? Anybody not see that, 443? Okay, now that's very low, but it's still within the permissible range, and it is typical of cousins only 1% of the time. It's not impossible, but it's rare. However, if you follow Jacques' blue line here under Louise, you see that? 319. Can you tell what color it is? It's red. Now, although they're first cousins, according to my genealogy research, genetically, they're outside the range. Cousins, supposedly cousins, share 319 0% of the time. And it's not just a fluke. If you continue Jacques' blue line under me, we share 371. And under Paul, 378. And although Jacques' sisters, Bernice and Anne, have less red, look at the percentages. 4%, 5%, 4%, 2%. There's something very wrong with this genealogy. It is not consistent with the genetics. So who do you suppose is right? Right? Any guesses? And by the way, my genealogy is based on unimpeachable research, documents like this official government birth certificate. It's on the fancy, thick paper that can't be duplicated, right? It says right there, Ruby is the daughter of Alfred. So
No, DNA doesn't lie.
I think, yes, I would agree with that. So based on some strange things, now, of course, all these women, all my aunts have passed away as my grandmother, but my oldest cousin Bernice is still with us, and she related some interesting, strange comments that had been said to her by her relatives, years ago, like things like, well, even though we're not related, there's no reason we can't be friends. What is a 12-year-old to make of that? So what we have inferred is that my dear old grandmother, who came over from Scotland as a wee lass of 19 on a ship, all by herself, what could go wrong? Arrived in Canada, all by herself. She had a relationship with a man before she met and married our grandfather, Alfred. She met and married, or no, she had a relationship with this mystery man. Here we call him Ruby's father, Père de Ruby, and she had Ruby. And then 2 years later, she met and married my grandfather, Alfred. And she marched him down to the Bureau Registry of Births and had him misrepresent himself. She had him lie to the government, and Alfred claimed he was Ruby's father to preserve the family honor. So it's particularly ironic since my grandmother was a very dour Victorian lady, in her later years, very proper Victorian lady. And she's rolling over in her grave today. So I hasten to emphasize that I have nothing but respect, gratitude, and affection to my grandmother, because if she'd done anything different, I wouldn't be here today. So this is how we discovered that there was a gap in our family tree. So now, if we rebuild the tree and have Constance at the top with the two separate fathers, you can see all the red is gone, right? And Jacques and Anne and Bernice are now my half cousins, right? Ruby's my half aunt.
Yeah.
Jacques my half cousin. And for half cousins, 443 is totally typical of half cousins. It's when two people share 443, and they could be half cousins 84% of the time. So all the black is gone.
Could you have seen that if you just went into DNA Painter?
I haven't used it. I don't believe DNA Painter has access to the family tree, the genealogy.
No, but it'll tell you what the possible relationships are.
Probably, yeah, probably.
No, it
Probably.
does.
Yeah, okay, yes.
So it would tell you, here's the possible relationships if two people share 443 centimorgans.
Yeah, Yeah. But here we've got corroborated with the genealogy. So if you perform this kind of chart with your genealogy, it'll confirm whether you're on the right track. And if you see some red numbers coming up, then you may want to, investigate that further. So that was kind of cool. Now there's actually a fourth child here. There's a fourth sibling in this group. His name's Andre, and he refused to participate in the study. So I didn't push it. I said, all right, and I'll let it be. And so I met him so then we met at a family reunion, and I said, Andre, after a couple of drinks, I said, Andre, what's the deal? Why won't you, I'm footing the bill. I'm paying for those tests. So he said, Pierre, and I thought it was because he was, his nose was out of joint because we uncovered some irregularities in his ancestry. He said, Pierre, he says, as a young man, I was somewhat busy, very prolific. He had courted many a young lady, and he did not want, if he had had issue, he didn't want them, knocking on his door at the age of 75. So I said, yeah, okay, I understand. So, by the way, a common complaint amongst genealogists is that when you contact your distant relatives, your new matches, they don't get back to you. So I have a suggestion, is what you do is you tell them that you're the family historian and you've discovered a horrible genetic disease in the family. And if they contact you, you've got the cure. So you can encourage them to get back to you. Okay, so any questions on that?
How do I do it?
Okay, so good question. It's explained in detail in our help file, but basically 3 things, okay? First, you get tested and you download your raw DNA. And this works with Family Tree DNA, 23andMe, it works with everybody. So you download your raw DNA. Second, upload it to GEDmatch, okay? And we've described that in detail in the help file. Third step, download the GEDmatch, and everybody that's been tested in your Family Tree Maker database, you give them a DNA marker event. It's, if you make a list of all the custom events there, there's one called DNA marker. So everybody that's been tested, including yourself, assign a DNA marker fact, and in where you normally put the place or description of the event, you copy and paste the kit number that was assigned to you by GEDmatch. GEDmatch will automatically generate a unique identifier to everybody in the database. That's called a kit number.
Can you show the screen? Because I'm just really more visual.
Yes, sorry. Okay, yes, good point here.
Does it matter which, if you've tested it several places, is there a better file to use, 23andMe or Ancestry?
Use them all. We will support multiple test files. So what it'll show up, you'll have a number of close, similar Centimorgan matches. It's never identical, but we will allow you to display all of them.
Oh, okay.
I can't recommend one over the other. There are others with more experience in that area.
Here, I've heard the lectures from people that teach us about DNA. They say,
Yes.
fish all the ponds.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's a very good point. Thank you for
find out your DNA from each company.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Karen. The problem is that not everybody tests everywhere. So if you're an orphan searching your family, you're going to want to hit them all, because that elusive family that you're a part of, maybe they went to 23andMe. So if you go to Ancestry and you're not going to hit them up. If they went to 23andMe and they didn't go to GEDmatch, you're never going to find them. So you've got to go.
What I did is I tested a Family Tree DNA, then I uploaded it to MyHeritage and GEDmatch, and then I have to get Ancestry.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Some testing companies like FTDNA, they also allow you to upload from other companies. So it's a real, not a mess, but it's a real. So here you see, I've got 3 DNA kits, or I got really 2 DNA kits. Do you see that? And that one there, this is my kit number in the description. Does that answer your question?
Yep.
Well,
I
if you
forget.
only had people who had tested at Ancestry DNA,
Who,
could
me?
you
Yeah.
just manually input that information into a family tree maker without having them go to a place like GEDmatch?
Excellent question. Excellent suggestion, Bob. In addition to supporting all the different match files, by the way, okay, so as I said, when you test a GEDmatch, you download a match file. It says CSV, comma, separated value. We also allow you to create your own match file. It's very simple. You open up a spreadsheet, and as Bob suggested, you enter you assign a kit number to a person. It could be their initials, and you put the person's initials in column 1, your initials in column 2, and in column 3, the amount of DNA that you share, as displayed by Ancestry on their website. You know what I mean? Here, let me just.
Here,
Yeah.
if I and all the cousins I'm interested in right here all tested at Ancestry,
Yes.
I can just download the match file from Ancestry, right? I don't need to involve GEDmatch.
Unfortunately, Ancestry doesn't provide match files.
Well, yeah, but you can do it.
How? With
Well, there's third-party tools,
okay, yes.
right?
I thought they'd been banned by Ancestry.
Yeah.
Technically, yes, but there's 2 that still do work.
Oh, good. Maybe you could put the link in the mat.
Is one of them.
So,
Well,
What's
maybe
that?
just to simplify things, can you show us how you could create your own manually?
Yeah.
Can you just give us an example?
It's John.
What that
John.
yeah,
spreadsheet
here,
look
let
like?
me
No,
share my
maybe you
screen
can.
real quick.
Okay, maybe you can share the link in the chat.
Because it might be hard to get all your cousins to upload their information to the GEDmatch.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So, just one thing before we hand it over to John. What you do is you click on each person, and it shows up the amount of DNA that you share. So you copy and paste that in the spreadsheet. Have you got one, John?
Yeah, I've got one here. Because here's like one I just did, because sometimes like for, let's see, where did I do it? Right here. Just do this in Excel. You can just do it kit 1, kit 2, CM.
Perfect.
And then for these names, you can just manually put it in. You can just do a name or just some unique identifier.
Yeah.
So here, Christine Robert Jr. matches 581. Christine matches Sally, 637. You just need some unique identifier. Let's see.
Yes, and that
here, is just using initials. Are you seeing this one? CL to AL,
yeah.
Craig to AL,
Okay, so there's nothing magical about the kit numbers.
No.
No. You can call them whatever you want. You just need, for whoever CL is in your tree, they need that DNA kit or DNA markers fact to match that. It needs to say CL in this
Oh,
case.
okay, so whatever you make up for that, there needs to be someplace in Family Tree Maker.
Correct.
Yeah. So in the DNA marker event, you put CL in the place or the description.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
that
is that what
person.
you're saying? You put that CL under their name in the tree?
You put the CL in the DNA marker event of
Yeah,
that person
for
in
that
Family Tree Maker.
individual.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a fact for, in this case, CL.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful if you're doing initials that they don't duplicate in the list.
Right.
Yes,
As a
yes.
matter, you will get an error when you generate saying, oh, I found 2 people with the same DNA kit or DNA marker fact. So
what's that? What is that person's name, John? CL.
honestly, I don't know. This is probably one I was helping someone in one of the
Okay.
genetic genealogy groups, and the chart
Okay.
they did they just
Okay.
put the initials. So
May I ask
So-
another question? When you were listing those DNA, I think markers, you had 3 sets. Was that the different companies you were tested at? Was that all you?
Yeah, yeah, I tested with different companies, yes.
Now, do I have to do a chart like this? Because this is what I'm bad at, like the Excel.
Now, do you have a match file that you downloaded from GEDmatch?
Yes,
Okay, so you don't need to use Excel.
okay.
You use the match file, the CSV file that you downloaded from
And where do
GEDmatch.
where do you put that?
Okay, let me show you. Let me show you.
Yeah. There.
But you could combine results from different testing vendors all in one spreadsheet, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yes, you can. Yes.
I didn't catch that.
Well, if
Oh,
you
okay.
had tested, let's say let's say you tested an ancestry DNA and then uploaded it to GEDmatch, and you found someone at GEDmatch who hadn't tested at Ancestry,
Yeah,
you could add them to your big spreadsheet, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do that. You can also put them in separate. We also allow you to have multiple, unlimited number of, of match files. So
Oh,
you could, yeah, you could have one match file you got from GEDmatch, another one from 23andMe.
another
You know,
my heritage.
yeah, my
Yeah.
heritage. We
Okay.
allow
and
you
it puts it
to,
all together in one chart.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. It
exactly,
will.
yeah.
To me, that's confusing. I was just wondering if there's a way of, where would I put those matches?
Okay, let me show you. I'll answer your question right away. I'm going to launch Charting Companion. Oh, okay, let me share my screen here. I'll answer that question. I did skip over a lot of stuff here. Okay, so I just launched Charting Companion from Family Tree Maker. Okay, so what you do to answer your question is in the charts and reports, in the
Yep.
DNA matrix,
Yes,
you get here, you get a dialog here, click here, and this is where so you have one of the tabs is DNA matrix. What you
Yep.
do is you click on the add button
yes,
and you then go, let me see, I hope I can remember where I put my, you go to where you stored your CSV match files when you downloaded them.
yeah,
DNA, and here we go. So this is the DNA files for me and all my cousins. Okay,
okay,
I select all of those. So I tested 7 other cousins,
yes,
and each one has its own match file. I open that, and bingo, this is where they get loaded, right
okay.
there. And you could view it. This is what it looks like. There. This is what the match
Because you
file
already
looks like.
did those markers.
Now, with CSV, it was all handed to me on a silver platter. I'm sorry,
Oh.
with GEDmatch. With GEDmatch, it was all handed to me on a silver platter. I
Right.
didn't have to do any custom creation.
Oh, okay,
So what Bob was asking about and John showed us, you only have to do that if you're a hardcore Ancestry users. You couldn't find the utility that scrapes the data, and you've got to go through one at a time. It's still doable. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
So here's kit number 1.
yeah,
Kit number 1, name 1. Kit 2, name 2, and then now with this chart, it's pretty detailed. You got the chromosome number, the beginning and ending, and the total
Yeah.
centimorgans. All you need is the total centimorgans.
all you need is what?
The total centimorgans.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Now,
That's okay.
the spreadsheet needs to be in a CSV format.
Yes, thank you. You have to save it in a CSV format,
Okay,
comma
so if you
separated
created
values.
in numbers, then you would have to export it to CSV.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. A CSV is just a text file with numbers and
Right, I've
commas.
seen
Very
the
simple.
CSV files.
Yeah, it's just
I
it's
have
the GEDCOM of spreadsheets. It's got just you could type up a CSV from scratch with Notepad or a text editor.
Yeah, but I mean, you get that CSV file from my heritage too.
Yes, when you download a match file, it is in CSV format as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So I can answer more questions, but I want to cover a couple of more things before we run out of time. One of the another feature of Charting Companion is it can help you place an orphan or an unknown person. So, in a nutshell, what the DNA simulation does is it allows you to define if you have somebody that contacts you who's an orphan and shares DNA with your family but doesn't know what the connection is, or conversely, if you yourself have been adopted and you found a bunch of strangers who share your DNA, you can find out where you belong, where you fit, by using a DNA simulation. And what Charting Companion does is it's going to take you as an island in the tree, and it's going to connect you to every person in that tree. And it's going to calculate on the fly a DNA matrix. And if there's no red in the DNA matrix, if everything is consistent, it's going to save that tree as an image. And later on, you can browse through it and examine it, and it shows you all the possible places where you could fit. So in the screen share that you see the purple square? That's the orphan. And what we've done here is we've taken a family and we have connected the orphan to one person after another in all sorts of relationships, son, nephew, grandson. And every time the DNA, the calculated DNA is consistent with the empirical laboratory DNA, we say that's a possible connection. And then we save every tree, and then at the end you can examine them and you can rule out those that are less feasible, less possible. And the process is very thorough. Not only does it examine all the existing people, but we also introduce hypothetical mistresses, or, you know, we create additional relationships that you might not have suspected, because oftentimes these births are the result of less than regular relationships, so they're hidden, swept under the carpet. So we introduce mistresses for your grandfather, and if it's possible, then we say, hey, he could have had this child with, you know, another woman, and we go several generations. So that's the DNA simulations. Pretty intricate, pretty cool, and it has been used to find some homes to people. Any questions on that?
Well, Pierre, may I? I
Yeah.
have a set of, let's just say a set of cousins, and 20 cousins. I know how we're all related. And then there's an unknown person.
Yeah.
In order to run the simulation with that person, does their intervening relations have to be in my tree?
No, it's the opposite. That person has to be cut off from everybody.
Okay, good.
Do you have that person connected right now?
I have them in my tree on an island separate. I found a
island,
few of
okay.
their relatives, but no one in my main tree.
That it is necessary for that putative orphan be disconnected completely. Yeah.
Okay.
Because otherwise we run into problems. You know.
Pierre, I've tried to run it, but my chart file name and chart folder fields are blank. How do you fill those?
Are you using the Mac?
Yes.
You simply, you have to define, you have to enter, you have to choose the folder where you want the scenarios to be stored, and you assign a name to it. You browse to the folder and you type in a name. It's just something that you have to provide. You have to tell Charting Companion where you want, because we generate a PNG for every single scenario, and we bundle it all up into an HTML for your convenient browsing. But we just need you to give us the seed of a file name. So just to browse to the folder, enter a file name, and then we'll take it from there. Sorry, it does. It's a little bit confusing. Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff. Good. So
I like how it saves the individual PNG graphic files, because then you can take some of the likely ones and then just email those graphic files to your cousin and say, hey, this is how I think so-and-so might fit. And
good point. Yeah. Excellent point. Yeah. So this is the genetic genealogy, Blaine Bettinger's group. We introduced it there, and it felt a lot of good feedback from it. I got the idea basically from a customer. John has some extraordinary DNA matrices with 20 or 30 individual tests in it. It's pretty impressive. You got one handy, John? Can you show it?
yeah, I showed one yesterday here.
Oh, sorry. Stop sharing here. Stop sharing.
Pierre, I got a question on the DNA match list that you started talking about.
Yeah, I'll show that. Well,
Can you
Well,
run
Jo-
that as well?
yeah.
Because I haven't been able to generate the match list from running it from the menu on a Mac.
okay, you have to, on the Mac, you have to click on there's a button inside the spreadsheet here. Let me show you the Windows equivalent here. Charts and reports, DNA matrix. I tested it just the other day. DNA matches. Yeah, you got to click on.
Create the
Yeah,
DNA.
that's right there. Check
That
that.
is-
Did you?
That is checked, but it doesn't
Okay.
generate the list.
Really?
Yeah.
And then preview.
Is the DNA matrix checked? Because I thought that was
Yes,
predicated on the DNA matrix.
Okay.
yes,
Let
that's
me-
checked as well. I get a DNA matrix just fine. I can't
Yeah.
generate the match list.
Did you? Okay, you supplied it a file name, right?
No, that's blank.
Oh, yeah, no, you have to supply the name. You have to define the name.
What do you put in there?
Oh, just, whatever you want, matches.xlsx. It's
So
just a
it is
name you make up.
creating that file? Or it's
Yeah.
looking for it on your computer?
No, it's going to create it.
Okay.
Sorry, that's not clear. Yeah,
So
so you need to,
It needs
Just
to be
call it-
created in numbers then for the Mac, is what you're saying.
well now, okay, yes. So we save it as an XLSX, a real Excel spreadsheet. Does numbers read XLSX?
Yes.
Okay, so type in, there's a bug in the program right now. If you don't supply the extension, we don't add it.
Okay.
We fixed that yesterday.
That's
So-
why it's not running for me. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so call it mymatches.xlsx. And in the next version, we supply the extension if it's not.
So
Okay.
that's
Provided.
fixed in 143 or,
It'll be in 144.
oh, okay. 'Cause the latest thing that you've released is 143.
Yeah, my programmer fixed the XLSX thing last night, and I haven't created a new version yet. So, so sorry about that for the lack of clarity there. We should put up an error message. Okay, I'm going to make a note here. DNA match, no file name, make an error message. It would have been helpful and saved you a lot of trouble if we'd said, hey, you checked create match list, but you didn't provide a.
Right.
Okay. Oh, there's John's.
Yeah, that's my big
Wow.
spreadsheet, because basically it's from data gathered from 3 clusters of families,
That's massive.
because there's this family is my family. Here's the Foss-Bender line. And then over here is like another Foss-Bender line, a fourth cousins, and
A lot of people doing
Fantastic.
DNA tests.
and this is using a combination of Ancestry and GEDmatch. So, but anyway, so
Congratulations. That's really impressive. A lot of work, a lot of dedication. So I'll just talk a little bit about the DNA matches. Whoops, screen 2. Okay, so the DNA match feature, yes. What it is, it's a way of organizing your matches. So it's a spreadsheet, and we had to do an XLSX because a CSV doesn't preserve colors and text orientation and things like that. So over on the left here are my relatives. It's people in my database, people I know their relationship with. That's the left column. And the top row, these are distant matches, people who share DNA with my family, but I don't know where they fit in the family. And at the intersection of each is the amount of DNA that they share. So in Centimorgans. So the way you use this chart is that, remember, there's 4 major family groups here. I changed the family names, but Flurgus is the Charlebois, there's Poindexter, Ritter, and Montclair. So there's 4 women, four groups, 4 cousins. So if you take these people here, columns B and C, you notice that they share DNA with the Poindexters and the Ritters and the Montclair, but not the Florgas. Column E here shares DNA with all 4 family groups. So you could tell, so let's say I'm one of the Charlebois or Florgas people, and I want to research that mysterious father of Ruby. Where do I go? Who do I start corresponding with? Well, check out column P here. You see it in cyan. The person here shares DNA with the Florgas, with row 6, 7, 8, right? But he doesn't share any DNA with anybody else. That's exciting. That means that this person is very likely connected on the Charlebois side. So, and then the same case here, column W and Y and A, B, A, C. You got 4 more people here who share DNA with the Florgas, but not the others. So if I'm proposing to communicate with these people, I'm not going to waste my time with columns D through O, because they connect on a well-known side, on the Moss side. But I'm going to jump right to P and W and Y and try to contact these people in the hopes that they will lead me to that elusive father of Ruby. You know what I mean? So the DNA matches, it's just a way of organizing. By the way, I don't want to mislead you. The cyan colors were added manually. It's not a feature of DNA matches. But everything else is there, including the horizontal, vertical printing of the names there, and everything else is there.
Yeah. Is this similar to the chart that John showed? It's just what it looks like on the Mac.
No, John showed the DNA matrix.
Okay.
Yes, it's a totally different chart.
Okay.
John showed the DNA matrix,
All right. Thank you.
which is what I show here as well. Yeah, this, see? That's the DNA
okay.
matrix.
Yeah.
But he had an Excel sheet he was typing up. And
The Excel sheet. Well, it's no, it's different. What was it? Yeah, what John was typing up, that was a CSV. There's a homemade roll your own CSV file.
Oh, okay.
Where you were entering kit number 1, kit number 2, and the Centimorgans. That's different.
Okay.
This sheet here is entirely generated by automatically generated by Charting Companion. You don't have to lift a finger. What?
It's sort of like a leads chart, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We have a visitor from New South Wales, Hillary from New South Wales. Anybody else from Australia? Cool. So that's a bit of an overview. There's lots more, but I'll don't want to overwhelm you.
Did you say
so-
all of this is basically in the manual?
Yes. Yeah. It's all explained in the manual. In the help
So I've
manual.
actually got to read the instructions, huh?
I'm sorry. Yes. I'll just let me show you here. You go under help, contents. We did our best. And then, so for example, here, charts and reports. And the Mac is the same. There's the DNA matrix, Descendant Chart. And there's all the explanation, all the options. And then there's a whole section here, troubleshooting section.
Yeah,
There's
Peter,
a
the
quick start.
previous
What?
spreadsheet just showed us, what's that called? again?
This is the DNA matrix.
No,
I know.
That,
that one.
Matches. What? DNA matches? Is
So
that what
that's
you
what
mean?
it's called in the manual.
Yeah, yes. In the manual.
Yes.
Yeah, let me just go to the manual here. Where's my manual here?
'Cause the other one, that's the matrix.
yes.
Yeah. I lost the manual.
On the Descendants chart, there's 3 tabs. There's the DNA matrix, the DNA simulator, and then the DNA matches.
Oh, okay.
So
What happened to my documentation?
Okay, so if you want to go into the manual, this is the matches one of the 3.
yeah,
I lost the manual. What's going on here? Here it is. Okay. Yeah. So the one that I just described there, the DNA matches is there, right there. See?
Mhm.
DNA matches. There you go.
And these are all under Descendant Chart.
Yeah, Descendant Chart, because the DNA matrix is an option of the DNA chart of the Descendant Chart. Yeah.
Oh,
There's a step-by-step here out of with GEDmatch, although I think it's out of date. There's MyHeritage, how to download, how to enter a DNA kit event in Family Tree Maker, Legacy, Ancestry, how to download your DNA from Ancestry, how to download for 23andMe, GEDmatch, MyHeritage, quick start guide. You know, now this stuff gets obsolete real quick, but we've done our best here. Troubleshooting. The biggest problem is people don't put kit numbers in the DNA marker. And I'd like to say this could be a whole lot easier if Ancestry got together with Software Makiev, got together with Progeny. We all agreed to a standard. We all made this smooth and transparent. And the reason it's all in pieces like that is that Ancestry refuses to show any kind of initiative in the area of matching. And family tree DNA, I think, are a little bit more broad-minded, as is MyHeritage. But I guess they're concerned about the ramifications and all the legal issues. And but I think somebody in the chat was asking for a link to the tool that scrapes or calls the matches from Ancestry.
Yeah,
anybody...
that's in the chat. There's the DNA JCOM client.
Okay, good.
That,
Good.
well, I didn't post that one. It's,
Does anyone have the DNA matchmaker for the Mac?
no. I don't, but if anyone ever does, if you send it to me, I can throw it in my Dropbox and then provide the link for anyone to download. So
Great.
Pierre, you never got the DNA Match Manager for the Mac, did you?
Not yet. I'll make a note here. DNA Match Manager. I'll make a note.
Well, the Heirloom Software's website is no more. So,
No, you'd have to have an old version, but it still runs if you have it. But
okay.
Yeah.
Maybe some kind soul would.
But the DNA JCOM client does work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's just a subscription thing where it's like $5 a month or $50 a year. So
good deal.
And it takes hours to run if you're running it for Ancestry data. It takes me 15, 16 or more hours to get my Ancestry data.
So I make sure my Mac won't turn off when I go to bed.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure your Mac is not going to go to sleep.
I still have a question back on that the DNA match list. I tried to run it and I get an error message that says unable to write DNA matches output file.
Now, did you give it
Xlsx?
Did you give it a directory?
Yes. Yes.
Complete,
and I named it .xlsx, and it says I get an error message unable to run.
What's the full name? What is the full name that you gave it?
DNA match list .xlsx.
That's right. Is it open right now by any chance? Is it open in numbers?
It didn't create it in numbers.
Okay, it didn't create it at all.
So I create a numbers file, a blank numbers file.
No, you don't have to create a file. No. You don't. No,
well, do you want to share your screen, Jim?
Okay. And
because sometimes a picture is literally worth 1,000 words.
You bet.
Now you have to choose the folder where it's going to go as well.
Where do you choose? Share screen.
Just, documents.
Yeah, you can just do share screen or share the. Okay, we see the running FTML plugin.
Just
go
to
Charting Companion.
There it is. Oops. Can you see it now?
No, I think you shared the Family Tree Maker and not the Charting Companion.
Okay. Charting Companion.
While we're waiting, Pierre, okay, we see the charting companion.
Now, is that the most common ancestor? Is that the patriarch?
Yes.
Okay. So
there's my
matches.
DNA match
Okay.
list.
Yeah, you've got to browse to a folder as well. Go to documents.
Browse documents.
Documents. Yeah, right. Okay. Click on open.
Charting
That's it.
documents.
No, that's good enough. Click on open.
Okay. Open.
Okay, now after documents, no, after documents, put a // and then put the name // No, that's a question mark. And then put, mymatches.xlsx.
That's spicy.
Yes.
Okay, try that.
It's misspelled.
Okay, no, that's okay. Xlsx.
SX. Okay. And
Okay,
then
now click on preview.
preview.
Ta-da! Okay, now,
That's just the chart.
yeah, now
Okay.
go to documents.
Yeah,
Go to in Finder. Go to Finder.
Yep.
Just click on Finder, and then we're not seeing it.
Okay. It's coming up. Yep. That worked.
Can you show it?
okay.
You have to share and reshare.
I know. I'm trying to. Yeah, but that's just going to share. Okay, can you see?
Good. Okay, good. Now the unfortunate thing here is that Numbers was not able to turn the top row vertical. Maybe if you click on row 1 there on the left, click on row 1. Okay, now does it allow you to rotate? Can you rotate the text? Usually it's in format.
Yeah, you probably could, but I'm not a big. I've used numbers a lot. I've used Excel a lot more than I've used numbers. So
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have Excel on this machine?
no, it's not supported.
Okay.
You have to rent it for a month by the month. So
Yeah. Okay. So you've just given me another idea here. We need to automatically launch. Well, we try to automatically launch a spreadsheet. So,
which is numbers. That's with the Mac.
yeah. So we'll try to tie it in with Numbers.
Okay.
Right. So if a machine doesn't have Excel, we'll try to launch it with Numbers. Okay.
I like that too.
Yeah. Is Xlsx associated with the Numbers application?
Yes.
So why wouldn't it launch it? If you double click on it, will it?
You don't have the program, is that why?
If you double click on an Xlsx file, does it launch Numbers automatically?
Yes.
You
I'm
don't have
surprised.
Excel?
What?
He
No.
doesn't have Excel.
No.
That's okay. It's okay.
That's
Yeah.
why it won't open as an Excel though.
No. It opens as a numbers.
Right.
Okay, I'm surprised because in Charting Companion, we ask the operating system, Mac OS, to handle this file. We say, open it. Find whatever opens this and open it. So I would have expected Mac OS to automatically open the spreadsheet with Numbers. We'll have to investigate that. We'll have to see why it didn't open automatically.
I'm running Big Sur,
Yeah, okay.
so it's the most
should-
current.
Yeah. Yeah. It should, like when you create a PDF, we open it automatically. When you create a PNG, we open it automatically.
Right.
So I'm puzzled, but thank you for the lead there. We'll add that to our things to do.
Thank you, Jim, because that's going to help me too.
Yeah.
Jim, you can buy Excel, not do the rental, because I bought it from Microsoft.
Well, I mean, we're not imposing Excel. If you've got Numbers, we want to be able to be compatible with Numbers as well. We want to save you money, and you don't have to buy Excel to use this.
While I'm up on the screen, you can see I'm trying to run the simulator. and
Okay.
my chart file name and chart folder is blank as well. What
Okay,
do I-
so in the file name, just put DNA sim under the file name, DNA sim. Okay, and then on the chart folder, browse to a folder. Again, it could be documents,
Yep.
or you would create,
Create a
right?
folder.
Yeah, simulations. Yeah, that's right. Right, there you go.
Okay.
Whoops. How
Whoops.
come it didn't? Yeah, I think you had to click on the open there. Try it again. Browse.
Oh, nothing.
Oh no.
Nope. Oh, maybe it's in the background. Oh, here we are.
Yeah. Okay, so click. I think drag that to the left. Yeah, no, you have to click on open there. Drag that over.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
It won't move. Okay, drag the other one to the right. There we go.
are.
Click on open. Yeah, open. There you go.
Okay, and
Yeah.
then it performs.
Oh no. You also need to pick a person. Or the person. Yeah, browse. So what is the name?
Yeah, and
What is
that's
the name
the
of the-
person you want it to say, okay, I want to place this person in my tree.
Where does it find it?
Who is the unknown person?
Yeah, the unknown
Yeah.
person. So hit enter. It should go there automatically. No, try it again. No.
No, it crashed.
Yeah, because there was nobody in the
Okay.
tools. Try it again. No, it didn't find Maeve.
Okay.
Just ignore. So try the go to the simulation again, right? Simulation. Okay, so it lost the settings. So you got to do that again. DNA sim. It only saves the settings if it exits normally. So I'll make a note here. DNA sim,
Open.
blank
Browse.
person.
And
Got a lot of notes. Okay, so scroll down. Can you click? Yeah, right there. Scroll up, find the person. Scroll up and down there.
no.
Whoops, needs some work.
Uh,
Yeah. Scroll down, down. More.
Stuck.
Is it stuck?
Yep. It won't let me get past Big B
Hutchison. What version are you running?
version of
Charting Companion. You can't just hit cancel for a minute.
the brand new
Yes.
one. I just got it.
Yeah, show me. About. No. Hang on, cancel that. Click on Charting Companion. Oh, exit. Sorry, exit that dialogue here. That one here. Just top left. The little yeah. Okay, now Charting Companion. About 140. Yeah, that's pretty recent.
Yep.
Not the latest one, but
It's not
we
the
have
latest
been-
one.
143, right?
It's pretty recent. It should work. Yeah, it's as of the 11th of December. So, okay. Obviously, we've got some issues there with the scroll box. We will look at that. Sorry about that. DNA simulation.
Thank you. That at least sets me straight.
Sorry, we'll try to reproduce the problem. We might need a copy of your file and
This
send.
is
and fix
useful
it.
doing this, though. It's helpful to
Yeah.
me.
It
Yeah.
really is helpful.
Good. Sorry
You
about
want
that.
You want my email address, Pierre?
Yeah.
jgraham1945@hotmail.com.
1945 at Hotmail. Okay, got it.
Is this recorded?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
J. Graham, right? Okay.
Just my initial.
J.
J.
Graham. Sorry about that for
Yeah.
fine tuning some of the.
Just put it in the chat, but oh well.
Okay.
Pierre, someone asked a question because yesterday during the thing I did that trick of holding down the left shift key when launching
Yeah.
Charting Companion to clear the settings. Is there a Mac equivalent or a way to doing that on the Mac version?
Yeah, it's the same deal. if you want to reset your settings, you hold down the shift key on the Mac when you click on Family Tree Maker Tools, Charting Companion, just before clicking on Charting Companion, hold down the shift key, click on Charting Companion, and that'll reset your settings. Just reset everything to default. If you're running into any kind of a problem, and it seems to be stuck, hold down the shift key and start it, and it'll reset the settings.
Yeah.
Clean slate. Well, I've bored you fine folks long enough. If you have any more questions or
could I ask a non-DNA question about family or about charting?
Sure.
Family?
Sure.
Have you ever explored the changing the cousins feature? That works fine if you got 4 or 5 interrelated cousins. It doesn't work if you have 40 or 50 or 400 or 500 related cousins.
What do you mean? I don't follow you there.
The stub out, you stub when you get to the cousin and you have to pick it up elsewhere. What I want is an interfamilial chart where if you're related from somebody 3 or 4 different ways, the lines go there.
Well, you can do, if you're related to somebody 3 or 4 different ways. If you do a descendant chart, we show the duplicated cousins.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about an ancestor chart. I want to go up for me and show all the ways, and I don't want to duplicate the same person multiple times. With your cousins, it'll stop it with a stub, and it'll only put the person in there once.
We do that. It's called Cousin Smart.
I know, but that doesn't work when you have so many cousins.
Okay, now
the chart's too busy.
It'll cut off. It'll show the repetitive occurrences of the cousins, but only the cousins. It'll cut off their ancestry.
Correct.
So you're saying even that's too much?
That's too much.
Wow. Okay, interesting. So you want to eliminate the cousins?
Correct. I want a true interfamilial chart. Let me post a site of a place. If you click on this, this is a place that will do ones. Now their charts are nowhere near as nice looking as yours, but they only have a person in there once.
Well, that wouldn't be hard to do.
And the problem is we get further and further back. We like I saw in John's chart when he did his great presentation on Wednesday, that he and I are distant cousins. All right, so we're like 30th cousins, because one of the names that popped up there, I could see that I'm a descendant of Earls of Arundel as well. Okay, so if you have that far back and you start to link it, then you're going to find that there's a lot of other cousins in there, because the link that I put in there shows royal families, and they married cousins on purpose.
Okay.
And so then the tree starts to look like a Mississippi Delta.
Okay.
And
I see.
And that's where the cousins feature doesn't work. It works fine if you only got like 1 or 2, or it's not too busy and you can find it. But when you've got, my tree is enormous, and I love your software, but it's too hard to follow because you can't figure out where it goes.
So we'd have to take it one step further and not only show the duplicate, just cut out the duplicate cousins. Not only cut off the common ancestry, but cut out the duplicate cousins altogether.
Correct. Just have a true interfamilial chart.
So would we show them at all, even once?
You show them once, sure. But all right, if you clicked on the link of that I had, the sample.
I did, yeah.
Okay, so it shows, if you look at there, it's showing Mary Burgundy. If you hover over Philip I, the King of Castile, all right, you see 3 kids that come out of there, and then they integrate down the way. So, so here's there exactly. That's what an interfamilial chart looks like.
Okay.
So each person is only in there once. And the lines are going all over the place because they're related. And so this guy's even gotten the DNA in there to do it, but his chart's a little hard to read.
So
but
how would you know? How would you know then that these people are there but missing? It's going to look like the ancestry ends right there, like we don't know who the ancestors are.
Well, in this case, this is a descendant chart. This guy will do it as an ancestor. That's what I really want. Is I want to show, flip it and go the other way and go up. So this sample one, I mean, he lets you up. This guy lets you upload to his site and your GEDCON to it and do it. So I can upload my GEDCON there and I can reverse it. And I want to do an ancestor and I want the lines to intersect like what he does. But I want it to look a lot nicer like your reports do.
Okay, so if we do an ancestor chart, but what I'm saying is that as you have all the branches of the ancestors, it's going to come to an end. And we're going to cut it off because the parents of this guy are already mentioned. But it's going to look like you don't know who the ancestors are.
No, if I know the ancestors and Family Tree Maker, it's going to take me to that person. So those lines will intersect and they'll go back to those people.
Oh, you want to draw a line from the?
No, I want it to show. Let me find one. Okay, if you go back to the set and like do Prince Harry's.
Yeah.
All right, Prince Harry's tree is there, and it shows how different parts of his family are interrelated.
Are you showing it? I don't see it on the screen.
Oh no,
Hold on, let me reshare it.
You go to sample trees. Prince Harry's the second one on there.
Okay.
All right, so like you see there, all right, so you got a mother and a father there to the right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you see how they eventually intersect because that mother and father are related to each other.
Wow, that's interesting. That's Harry at the bottom?
That's Harry at the bottom.
I see.
Well,
So-
the mother I'm not showing intersects with the father's line.
Well, okay, no. Go to the right. Okay. All right, so you got Harry's at the bottom. Now,
Okay, yeah, his father's parents intermarried.
Charles, right? Yeah, they've got
Charles' parents are.
right. So he's got the male and female reversed on how this guy does his visualizations.
Yeah.
Okay, so Charles is related to both his father and mother.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see. So,
Okay, so this is a reality if you can find your data, where probably everybody on this call is related to everybody else. If you can prove it, that's a different question. But once you can prove it, you want to show the person in there once. Okay.
Yeah. I see. Yes. Okay. And you want to tie them in. Interesting.
I want them to tie in. This is what's called an interfamilial chart.
Okay.
Okay. This is just one person's version of how to do it. This guy allows the DNA, but at least the person is only in there once.
Yeah.
And there's no stub out. And because the cousin feature that you got in there, it's okay. Like I said, if you got 4 or 5 interrelated cousins, but if you got 40 or 50, it doesn't work. It's too busy.
I understand. Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. Well, we'll add it to our list of enhancements.
That would be lovely. Thank you.
That's yes. Thank you for the suggestion. I'm always really interested in new charts. So right now, our next task is to convert. We're using a technology called QT, which is platform independent. We want to take the Mac version and get it running on Windows, and change the interface to make it look better. And it's also easier to design dialogues with this technology. So that would be our next. That'll take a few months doing that. And then I'd like to get into DNA clusters. That would be one of my next enhancements, DNA clusters. And also an idea to do a descendant chart with everybody on it. So there's lots on the plate. Lots of enhancements. So I just want to say how truly an honor it is for me to help you tell the stories of your family. It's gives meaning to my life, and I'm very grateful to all of you for the opportunity.
Yep.
Thank you, John, for organizing this, and Bob.
No
It's
problem.
much appreciated. And
Well, Pierre, your program makes it much easier for us to share it with the families who don't want to look at the typical genealogy reports that we put out.
yeah,
Genealogists love them, but their eyes glaze over after about 7 seconds.
Yeah.
they do. Yeah, yeah. It's
And it's always nice doing those charts. Go to Kinko's or some other print shop and get them printed out on the plotter, and they're definitely big wow factors. So,
yeah.
I showed this one. I don't know if let me see if it comes up here. Let me share this screen. I don't know if I ever showed you this one, Pierre. This is a chart I did for a lady a couple of years ago.
Oh, wow. That's impressive. My goodness.
You
How
know,
many
so
pages? Is that one sheet of paper?
that's one sheet of paper. That was done a friend of mine's got a plotter. So it's
Wow.
about 18, 19 feet long.
Wow. It's hard to handle that much paper without creasing it, eh?
Yeah.
Nice. I hope she
So-
appreciated it.
And that was a great incentive because she kept sending out samplers to all the cousins and stuff. And, they'd see all the profile photos for her family. And then they said, well, where are our profile photos? And she said, exactly, where are your profile photos? Send them to me.
Nudge, nudge. Almost every box there has a photo in it. She's done a
That's
very
the
thorough.
amazing part to me.
Yes. There's almost everyone. I mean, there's some families that just flat out refused, but for the most part, everyone's there. I did have to tweak the tree because someone didn't want his X on the chart at all. So it's like, okay, but so anyway. So doing charts like that is why I originally got Charting Companion back when it was version 5. So
Wow. You're a longtime customer. Thank you.
So-
Appreciate that. Well, we got our start with the LDS Church Path Companion in 1995.
yeah.
So we've been around for a while. A lot of genealogy programs have come and gone.
Yeah. So, well, if there aren't any more questions, we can end this, and then, well, probably within half hour, it should be up on YouTube and the link posted in the Charting Companion group. So, and then maybe next month we can do some more of these. And yeah, next month I'll probably try to do maybe a DNA simulator class. And then, I mean, if you want classes on something else, just post it in the group. So,
Good.
and I'm sure we can come up with something. So, anyway.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it all, and great being able to join from down under and learn something new. So thank you. And I hope everyone has a happy Christmas and New Year.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. You
Got a
too.
lot of information in the last 3 days. I got to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, hey?
Very good. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much. Pleasure
Thank
meeting you
you.
all. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.